you just talked about the highway truck and the other things, if you wanted any equipment or anything. No one asked for any vehicles this year.
We had their share last year.
Yeah. 2 sheriffs for the kids on the county.
Jim, you talked about that the sheriff's vehicle should really come out of the sheriff's budget. Is now the time that you want to take the 6,000 and put it into the sheriff's budget, or you want to leave it where it's at?
Well, I want it where it's at because I want us to vote on it.
Yeah.
No, you're right there.
Yeah, we don't need a runaway. Need to vote on that 42004.
Well,
Or-
she suggested putting that just over in the sheriff's budget, and I like it where it's at, so we
Sure.
vote on it.
Yeah, yes, leave it where it's at.
No, I like that part of it too.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
You
part.
need to, on the building maintenance though, if you approve the request, you need to up the 36004 by what you just said okay to the sheriff by, because the 100,000 is only going to cover what you already did for the heating thing in the courthouse.
Yeah, but I thought we was taking that out of rainy day fund
That's,
for the sheriff.
do you want to go ahead and put it out a rainy day?
Well, I
The
thought that's
That's what the
100,000.
motion was, wasn't
That's
it?
what
The 100,000 out of rainy day.
Then the other will insert, maybe out of seat it, maybe, or maybe back out, you know, or something. We don't know what
Okay.
yet.
Well, then don't put it in cum cap.
No,
Yeah.
I thought that's,
No, we talked about several options.
So, the 100's coming out of rainy day, and then we're gonna do different options for the
Remaining.
balance. For the
So
balance.
don't even put it in this cum cap at all.
We weren't sure if we'd come out of there. I mean,
It don't have to be in the budget, we can still do it.
So the fund total is 532 without any changes, right? We haven't made any changes.
Right.
532. And so is that with the 190 now sitting in there, and the next distribution, are we gonna have enough in here at that 532, or does that have to be decreased?
We're only gonna have 490. It needs to be closer to 490.
So including, the 490 includes the existing 190? So we have to cut it down to 490.
Right.
So
Closer, and I'd say just miscellaneous, because look, you had 21,473 is all that was expensed out of miscellaneous in 2011. I think you just put that cushion in there for 300,000.
So if we cut that down to 100,000, that'd take us down to 432.
Right.
Does that cut it?
That sounds wonderful.
Because we obviously can't budget more money than we
Are
have
gonna
coming
bring in.
Well, that's the federal government.
we should try.
Make
See
it
how we get
200,
along.
make it 100.
Yeah, 59,000, reducing that from 200 to 1, and that brings us down to 432.
Yes. And that's within the 490 that you have on hand.
Okay.
And what
Leaves us
you're
a little bit
gonna-
of a cushion.
Right, and what you're gonna bring in with the rate as it is right now for cum cap. We don't know what the assessment's gonna do next year, but that still brings us within budget. The other one is you guys' rainy day. Vicky gave me a sheet on the 4 people that we know are gonna take out their sick time payout based on that March 1st status. And with that, she came up with 26,701.69. Possible if the people who say they're going to leave our county government in the year of next year sometime.
And where's this at?
Vicky just gave me this little brief note when I tried to figure out rainy day,
Oh, okay.
1186, sick time payout 11079. We expended 20,000 in 2011. We only put 5,000 in there for 2012.
So that should be increased to,
Well, I'm guessing at least to cover the 26 that we're almost sure are leaving us.
quick, that's
46.
it's almost 11. last page.
Yeah, it's the second to the last page. 1186 is rainy day.
There you go.
So you're saying the 5,000 is not enough in the,
No, no.
and you're,
Should be increased to,
Well, Vicky figured the 4 people that we've been notified or have reason, it's gonna be 26,701.69, based on those sheets they did 2 years ago when we locked in their sick time payout.
Okay, so 28,000 maybe.
I was gonna say, increased to 28.
And now I don't even know what to say about the health
Yeah.
insurance.
You mean like that's people's return in 2013 sometime next year after the first of the year?
Yep. And those are people that we just are pretty sure we're not even, of the
She said
people
there's
who.
4.
One's $10,000, one's 10 and one's 7, one's 5 and one's 4.
How do they collect so much? How does that accumulate so much?
Never used any sick time.
Never use any sick time, they're maxed out, and they take that times what they made it 2 years ago, whenever they signed those sheets. The
So
only
that was
good,
locked in then, and
the only thing that saves us now is that I signed those sheets saying they would be paid out at the rate they were making at that time. Am I saying that right, Paula?
Yeah, I wasn't here then, so,
so that, there's a possibility that ain't enough. Probably
Yeah.
is a possibility.
I'm telling you, it's probably not gonna be enough.
so then from now on though, they don't,
No.
can't accumulate, can they?
Mm-mm. You
So-
did away with that when that locked that in.
What's a closer figure? You
I
think?
would say 50.
50,000?
If one person that was, yeah, if one person alone, who we're pretty sure is retiring, is 10,021,
A potential 5. Projected, maybe.
Jeez.
of the 4 people that are definite, 5,000 for one employee, 10,000 for another, 7,000 and 4,500 of just 4 employees, that makes up that 26,000. I don't know. My opinion is you should have done away with it, but I was a little too late into
Well,
that action. You've had them sign that now, and now it'd be like taking away another benefit that you've
yeah, you
given
probably
them,
couldn't take it away now.
No.
so.
Comfortable with, rather than 28, making it 30? Or we stay at 28?
I'm not too sure we should make it 35.
Well, you can, if you have issues, you can leave that 150 in the miscellaneous down there. That way it can be used for the group insurance or the sick time payout as a miscellaneous. So it's still gonna come out of rainy day, but it's not gonna affect what it,
And remember, the highway department, they had a huge decrease in their sick time payout, so,
they
Yeah.
left theirs bumped up for a long time, but none of these 4 people are from the highway. They're all county general people.
do we have an idea of how much the 30% choice the commissioners made saved us in health insurance?
How much is gonna be covered then?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me switch guys. And that will bring, annually, it changed it from 180. Now the employees are gonna be covering 237,000 of the 1.7 million that has to be paid. Not a lot.
So Jenny, they didn't raise the deductible, they just raised what the contribution
Contribution
was.
from the employees,
Left the deductible at 7, is that what they did?
right? I
Option
just-
number,
Want to say that now that they did this, a person with family coverage, weekly will have an increase of about $30, but over the 26 pays, it will increase what they contribute, $752.70. An individual will be, you guys got these sheets.
yeah.
Yeah, and the smallest, which is the employee coverage, it'll be taking another $156 annually out of their pay.
How much?
156?
156 for an individual and 752 with an employee and his family, her or his family. So right now, the way that it stands, to cover the 1,747,431 minus 237,288. We have to be able to fund 1,510,000. For next year to cover,
Yeah. Bill and Paula and I attended the meeting when they talked about the deductibles, and the one thing I got out of it, if we made any major changes this year on it, we would lose some of the grandfather portions of the insurance coverage on it. But they also recommended that next year, when they look into it, that would be the time to change the deductibles and pay out, out-of-pocket payout expenses. Right, Bill?
Yeah, that's the way I got on it.
Well, the way I see it is that we never kept up with it.
You're right.
The insurance
Yeah.
got away from us and we never kept up with it. So
yeah.
now it's caught us.
Yeah.
If you take the a recommendation from Chad Birch was that on a self-insured fund, the employee's contribution should be 25%. This number here, that 237, should, if you take the 1.7 million, should be closer to 436,000. That would be 25% of the 1.7 that we're gonna have to pay for the insurance. So we're way below that in funding it.
We're at, if I understood it right, we're at 90% employee, 10%, and the nation average is 75-25.
And the other
Oh, I
issue,
know, yeah.
one more issue that we have this year is we are not gonna be able to pay any of the monthly things out of our trust. Our trust ended the year at a negative 12,000. I can't give you the report because it has names on it, but, 12, I showed it to you earlier.
Person number one and person number two.
Yeah. We ended the year at 12, that in the hole, 12,000 some odd dollars.
We currently had a couple of big.
Huge claims.
Three of them, they say.
Three.
Three or four.
So how much savings, Jenny, would we save from taking our raises that we was thinking about from 3 down to, let's say, 1?
Paula, did you guys
We will
finish that
have all
report?
those numbers for you. I'm sorry. I just started working with Pam on Friday, and that poor girl worked this weekend. I'm like, you are not gonna be able to get this done in 2 days. But I do have percentages for you. They're not like what you thought, and I can go over the sheet with you right now if you'd like.
Paula, what he just asked, from just doing it real quick and not having verifiable numbers, I guessed every percent's gonna cost the county $68,000. In a ballpark of around 68,000.
That's what you'd said earlier.
Yeah.
So 3% is 3 times 68.
Right, so every percent is around $68,000.
Okay. Well, if you look at this sheet, you have each of the job type. 2008 was the last time that the COLA numbers were gotten from my company, WIS. But in 2009, 2012, I went in and I figured out that the cost of living for those years, and that was during the economic crash, was averaged about 4.7 for people, okay? And I'd say that that's probably pretty close. Now, 2013, I don't have the exact numbers there, but they're telling me that they're gonna be coming in around 2% for each of the job types. So some may be 2.2%, some may be 2.5%, some may be 1.9%. But I used the figure 2% just to see approximately where we land. So in 2009, 2012, with the actual consumer price index was 4.7%. And you guys paid the employees a raise in 2009 and 2012. The total of those raises is that 5 number, your 3% from this current year, and then you gave like 2.42% to comments, you gave 2.57% to Pats, on and on and on. The difference of the actual consumer price index versus what Whitley County paid to their employees is at a negative. That's good. That means that you guys, when you did give raises, you gave good enough raises to outrace the market, all right? So what that means is now if we take a projected for next year, 2013, we take that projected increase, we are looking at projected versus what the employees were overpaid. We're looking at a total adjustment in 2013 for Comets of a right around 1.28%, PATS 1.13%, LTC's 1.47%, polls 1.12%, SOs and electeds 0.9%. Again, because of that 2013 projected market increase is not exact yet, but it's close. Those could fluctuate a little bit, but I think that that's real good news to know that if we were to go at 3% again, we would be we'd be leading the market. And I just know that that's never been our philosophy. It's been to
Keep up with.
at the market. We don't want to lag it, but we don't want to lead it.
So you're saying 2% or less?
It'll be 2% or less. The only thing, like the 1.47 for the LTCs gets kind of close. So if, say that one comes in at 2.6 instead of 2.0, it'd be at 2.07%. But yeah, I think you're gonna be around 2% or less. So we could, in our minds, take that 68,000 times 2 and be real close.
And the other thing is, the most increased person, the 700 and whatever, we looked at this number too. If you give the lowest comment person a 2% increase, it's just right at what would cover the cost that we're gonna increase if he was taking the insurance out and it cost him $700 and some dollars.
And that's fine, but I guess my point on this is we do match the market, even with our benefits. If you take our benefits into consideration, us being at 1090, if you take the holidays they get off, if you take all their sick time schedules, all of that, then we would lead the market. So right now, if we try and compensate this scale for the insurance cost, the difference in the insurance cost, we are leading the market, frankly. And we need the employees to get used to that 25-75% scenario. And if we're padding their compensation to make up for insurance costs, what are we doing?
But they're getting a huge break on their insurance right now.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying do not pad their compensation to make up for this insurance issue. I'm sorry, it is that way, but a lot of employees already pay those types of insurance prices. And if we were lagging the market and we're saying, yes, we lag the market in your pay, but your insurance benefits are great, that would be one thing. But we're not. We are at market, and our insurance benefits lead the market, but we're trying to get them to be at market.
So, bottom line is, do you have a recommendation on what the percentage should be?
No, not yet. I would like it to be exactly as what the consumer price index is gonna be. We right now we're at 3%, we can advertise that. But, if I give a recommendation today, then we could be off a little bit. And it should be different. Each job type should have a different percentage increase because some jobs, are harder to fill than others. Like, if you're talking about, the PATs, those are normally harder to fill than the Comets. So they would have maybe a higher increase. So that's why I don't like doing across the boards. So if it could just wait until we go with our 3% as to advertise, and then it'll come down significantly when it comes time to.
Well, we advertise 2%. I'd rather raise it than lower it.
But can you
Raise it than lower it. Well, if we advertise at 3% and can't do 3%, we're gonna drop back to something less. We advertise it at 2% and we can get to 2.5 when we're.
You're gonna have to have another meeting before I advertise that because I can't, and you're gonna have to make the decision before that goes in the paper. I'm
Yeah.
sure
And
because
when is the deadline for that?
it has to be,
Pretty shortly, isn't it?
first publication of advertisement is August
I think
22nd.
they were staying where we're at,
I guess what?
22nd.
no raise or not over 1%. That's a huge break on that insurance. If you dealt with it every day and every day, I know there's a lot of employees that I got would love to have that.
Yeah, not just your employees either.
Paul, you're wanting to wait until you get that spreadsheet done? Is that what you're wanting to wait on?
Yeah, I'm waiting on Wiz to call me in these CPI figures.